well, one of them I should say that I saw was just like there's massive opportunity in this sales, like that part of the branch of the business, but I can't do that plus this plus the other thing and leave her to have to do half it. So it's just a lot of moving parts, but sales for sure. I mean, like getting the right people in place to get a team for sure, the right team members and quality team members.
All right, so I'm really excited about this episode. Welcome to the Scale Your Sales podcast. I'm joined by Nick and Brooklyn Hanna. How are you guys today?
Doing awesome.
Yeah.
Good.
Going fast.
I love hearing that. And I know you guys got a baby on the way, which is really exciting. And now here we are on the other side of this. So I'm really excited to go deep into your guys' journey from like the inception of starting the business. I think that the work that you guys are doing is really powerful, especially being like, for the people that you're serving, like you guys are the last resort in a lot of ways, right? And so they've probably gotten to this point where they've tried everything, but being chronically fatigued, chronically sick is just, it's a lot to handle. And what you guys have done in order to cure that yourself, Brooklyn, and then being able to take that and bring it to other people is really pretty magical. And a lot of times I feel like we don't even realize, but like our worst curse is actually our biggest blessing in disguise, right? So yeah, and for any of you guys watching this, just like Brooklyn and Nick are some of the nicest people. I think you guys are going to get this through the interview, and their journey is really like powerful. And so I'm excited for you guys to share it all today. So I guess tell us a little bit about like, what's your business, and then how did it start is especially what I'd love to hear more about.
How long do we have? No, I'm just kidding. It's a story. No. Go ahead. Or if you want to say, well, yeah. Back to the inception, I guess, and kind of where, yeah, go ahead. I want to talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I started as a functional health coach. I did most of the lab testing, the diets, the supplements, that type of stuff. I was pretty sick when I was still coaching, actually, at that point. And then I discovered neuroplasticity and Christian-based neuroplasticity specifically. And this is basically like mindset type of coaching. A lot of like visualization, getting closer to God, or that type of stuff. Yeah. And after that, my results skyrocketed. Yeah. My results with clients skyrocketed. And so I went that direction fully, and my business just grew from there.
So where were you guys at the time when you were working as a nurse and things started to get complicated with your health?
Clear Lake, Iowa. I actually worked in Mason City, Iowa at the time. Yeah. So
Midwesterners. Yep. We were there, and so 5 years. That was back then. Now in Florida, but. Yeah.
And where were you in your life? Were you guys married at the time? Were you engaged?
I was dating her. We were
dating. Were you guys living together?
No, we were dating, and then she got sick, and I was like, I'm in this either way.
Yeah, he married me sick, so he's a pretty good guy over here.
That's cool. Ride or die.
That's right.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's amazing. So hey, like I said, for health and for richer, for poorer, anything. Yeah, that's the right one.
That's right.
Okay, and then so you were sick for 5 years. I didn't realize it was that long. That's wow. And then like the gravity of it, what, like, were you bedbound? Were you able to get out and about? Like what was it like?
I was pretty much on the couch, so I could get out a little bit, but I was pretty isolated, didn't really socialize much. I was really sensitive to foods, so I could only eat like 5 foods. I was like 20 pounds underweight and all kinds of symptoms, but basically,
what were your 5 foods?
Actually 2 at one point. It was boiled chicken and zucchini.
Yeah.
That's
and
it.
Carrots and, oh gosh, rice, I think. Yeah. I don't know. It was pretty miserable.
Soft foods. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, and so here you are, you kind of have gotten to this point, I guess. So help me understand, when you started the business, you said you were still sick.
Yeah, so
she was basically, well, she was a nurse and she had to quit her nursing job. but then she's like, well, I don't want to just sit here and do nothing. I got to do something, right? Because she's going and seeing all these doctors, going and doing her own research and gathering all this information. She's like, I can do something. So
I was desperate. So then I found this functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, which is where I got like a certification. And when I went to these different doctors, the diets did help me a little bit. I went from maybe, I don't know, like 20% to 50% or something like that. And so I was like, oh yeah, natural health. And so I started studying. I'm kind of a nerd by nature. Like I was the one who studied the most in nursing school and everything. So I kind of took that. And even when I was on the couch, I would sit there and just study and study and study. Yeah. And so that led me to that certification. Got a little bit better, coach clients that way. And then, like I said, I found this other route. But
looking back at it now, just to jump in quick, like, I mean, with our kind of like how we operate, but like when you remove any stressor, of course, there's going to be some relief, right? Like whether it's food, work, any stressful situation, an environment, whatever, you'll get some relief. But that removal, that avoidance behavior then turns into a lifestyle, which is not livable, you know, like being socially, like, so how she was functioning socially, I mean, bedbound for a long time. Yes, she would try to make herself get out and about, but it was socially isolated, eating a handful of foods, sensitive to everything, basically. And that's no way to live either. Like, I'm going to not eat these foods and not do these things, but how long can someone do that?
I felt a little bit better, so it was kind of confusing. And so I kept going to more avoidance, and before I knew it, I was completely isolated eating the two foods. But brain training, completely changed that for me. I'm forever grateful for that. But yeah.
And so was there a moment when you said, like, I want to coach or train on this? Like, was it when you bought that training program, or was there a moment before that or a moment after that when you felt like this was really what you wanted to do?
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess for a couple of years, I was doing the natural route of all the diets, the avoidance. And then all of a sudden I saw a testimony of someone who had done this neuroplasticity brain retraining type thing. And I was like, that is what I need. Because she talked about how she was living in a tent, avoiding like all these toxins and eating really strictly. She did this, and it was just kind of my story. So at that point, I felt like God kind of showed me the way, and I started implementing it, and I saw more progress within like 2 weeks than I had with all the supplement diet type route. So it was
the aha moment was definitely and I saw it too. I called it. I'm like, man, something's different. And maybe not physically feeling like that, but her outlook on life completely changed with in that couple weeks span.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. And then so naturally, I feel like whenever someone starts a business, a big part of the challenge then becomes like, how do I get message market match? How do I package my offer? How do I position my offer? And like, do you go from having this expertise to like, how do I turn this expertise into something that I can sell and something that, works? When you started to get to that point, what were some of the initial challenges that you encountered?
Yeah.
What do we do?
Like here, I thought I went through this certification, and I thought I was just going to have clients right away, right? And it was not that case at all. The first year, I did more investing than I did and making money, obviously. And I really had no idea what I was doing. I hired a guy to like create a website, and I think I got a few clients or something at like $600. So I had no idea about high ticket offers like for the first couple of years, and clearly didn't make any money the first couple of years. But
I would call it a hobby. Like I'm doing something, I might as well do something with all this knowledge I have and put it somewhere, right? That's where it started, but it was like,
lead generation. Like I first started with like organic marketing. Like I created this Facebook group and I created this YouTube channel. And of course I didn't have really anybody following me, but then I created this group, and people started searching out this group. And I think our YouTube channel kind of funneled people in there, but it was a slow process, definitely the first year or two.
Didn't really know it was a business in growth, I guess, if you could say, put it that way. Like I had no idea.
Interesting. Did you, Brooklyn, did you know? And it was just maybe Nick, you didn't know because you were busy working, or did you guys both kind of think like, I don't know that if this is going to turn into a thing?
At first I didn't know. And then once I did that certification, I kind of got in their group, and I was with other people who were trying to sell it as coaching. I was kind of like,
So you could see someone else doing it and think like, okay, I can get to there.
Yeah. And I was just like kind of obsessed with it when I first started with it. Like I was just like, I want to make this a career. I want to work from home. I'm a little bit more of an introvert. So I'm kind of like, yeah, I'd rather not go work 12-hour shifts. I'd rather work from home. And I just started loving it. And then I found business coaches and whatnot, and it took off from there.
And
So.
she was not joking when she said she is a nerd. She is a nerd. She's a course junkie at that time. She just studied to read anything she would latch on to. And it's actually a blessing. I mean, it's amazing because, the passion and drive behind it. I mean,
but then I started applying that to like the business coaches and studying everything they taught me. And so like, then I would be successful with that. But
Yep.
yeah.
And so at what point did you then make that transition to go from low ticket to high ticket?
Oh man, was that 2 years ago?
yeah.
I want to say 2 years ago when I found a business coach, and she was telling me, oh, you're charging $700 a package. It was like literally $700 for like 6 months. And I just didn't believe her at first. And then I jumped it right up, and I was selling just as much because she taught me some sales stuff and whatnot. But yeah, it was pretty painful the first few years.
How much did you charge when you upped the prices?
So I was first charging $700, and then I went to like $1,500, and then I went to like $2,500, and I went to $4K. So it was gradual.
If you're listening, just jump right now.
Sorry.
Just
go
to
straight to
high
4K
ticket.
or whatever.
Whatever the market, whatever business you're in. But
Yeah.
Did you have all the thoughts of like, I don't know if my market will pay this, and I don't know, like my people.
That's such a lie.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I closed more at 4K than I did at 700. I'm not even kidding. And I had more sales skills, of course, but yeah.
But just maybe you'll lead into this, but it's easier in my opinion too, because it's, I don't know, more how do I want to say this? It's a different type of person you're working with, that, that can because it allows you to be able to, because if you're charging X amount, whatever that is, a higher amount, you want to show up for them and you want them to show up. It's just a good mix, it's a good combination that way.
Better quality of leads and commitment for
There you go.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're paying that much, you want to show up too.
100%.
Oh yeah, exactly.
There's this, that behind it too. And then also, that there was that even not long ago, like about a year and a half ago, jumping it up from, well, this is into our new, like when we found brain rewiring, neuroplasticity is like, this is the answer. This is what we're going to work with because we know it works for us. We've seen it work for other people. Even the jump there, we started out slow and then just moved up to higher ticket offer, but it was the market. Yeah. Will our audience respond to this higher ticket offer? It's like, that was always in the back of my mind and hers. I don't want to charge too much. Is it worth it? All those questions that come up.
So I would be curious to hear a little bit about like Brooklyn, when you brought Nick in, what were your concerns? Did you have any concerns in you not being the person selling to your audience?
A little bit. I mean, luckily he was in sales and I was training him a little bit, but then I'm like, man, of course we were worried about the finances a little bit. Like, is he, quitting his good job? Is he going to be able to sell, like you said, and to make us profits and everything? So it was definitely a leap of faith when he quit, for sure. Had a lot of doubts, but we made it.
Yeah, there was, because it was primarily her, and then like, who is Nick? Like, how do I fit into the picture? That was definitely something that crossed our mind. And both of our minds, like, sure, I have all these, this background, but how does it relate to her, and how can I connect with her story? And it was crazy to kind of back up right before all that happened, that transition over. Me being the caregiver to her through all those years, I'm like, there's help there, that there's a need that there too, like people, there's different types of suffering in the world, right? The physical health wise, and there's the mental, psychological, there's all different kinds. And when, it was like, when you think about that, I guess I was like, there's gotta be something I can do, like me coming alongside, like, how can I do this? But yeah, of course, like when she asked me to come in, I was like,
yeah, he came in at sales, but he also came in as a one-on-one brain retraining coach at first. So he was one-on-one coaching my clients. I had been teaching him my methods. Yeah. And so he was doing more of that actually than sales. And so that's how he made it, a little bit of profit as soon as he quit his job. And yeah, so it's been me and him. He knows the whole process. He is certified under me. No, I'm kidding.
When she said I'm hiring, I said, I'll be one. I'll do it. it was a kind of a weird combination. It was definitely a God thing for sure, like how it worked, because I mean, when you're a kid, and maybe this goes beyond what you're asking, but like when you're a kid, what do you want to be when you grow up? Like, I want to be a firefighter or a cop or something, but I want to be a Christian brain rewiring coach. Like, that never once crossed my mind. So didn't even know it existed, that kind of thing. So that's why I'm like, first off, will there even be a need? Because and then initial crossover, she, we were working with just a course to start, which was, looking back, I wish we never would have, but I guess,
we learned a lot.
Not now, but yeah.
What do you mean? Can you elaborate?
Yeah. So the transition was, she was one-on-one health coaching, functional health coaching with people, saw results, but then they, up and down, lots of up and downs with that. But there was some progress. Going back to when she transitioned and learned about brain rewiring, she started implementing it on herself and had created this scratch course kind of like on her own to help her clients, gave it to them for free because she was coaching one-on-one for health, on the other business model that we were working with, functional health coaching. And they saw the results. I'm like, So they saw, not only Brooklyn saw the results, but they were starting to see them. So then we thought,
yeah, so I was creating these video trainings for my one-on-one clients that I gave them, and I'm like, let's just turn this into a course. I think I did a survey with my audience. I had a few hundred in my Facebook group, whatever it was, and they're like, yeah, I'd be interested in that. And so I created this email list, and I was like, get on the wait list. I'm gonna launch this course. And so I first launched it as the course for like $350, and it was kind of like my rough draft, the do it yourself course. And we launched it as that. It went really well. The market took it really well. And then we noticed, people aren't showing up. They're not going through it. So they need the coaching. And so we transitioned from that to the group coaching. We did like a 3-month group coaching, then 6 month. But
there was that weird, awkward transition phase. Like, well, will the audience, will our people, the small per people, there wasn't like we had a big following, but will they even like this? And they did. The course went well. I'm like, wow, that's where my mind, I'm like, okay, there's something here. That's where the confidence to be able to, it was definitely we had said lots of prayers and had for months, I've been praying about moving on and moving with her, this business, I should say, for many months, but it just made sense along the whole way. But that was a kind of like confirmation, like, okay, well, the course, we weren't seeing the results. We got to do some coaching again, because that was a big difference, like from when it was working with her one-on-ones to just a course, So the low ticket offer thing, just, it can seem like it makes sense in the moment, but it's like, I don't know, long term.
That's how you can reach a lot of people, is doing a group program for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. And then, so you started coming in, and starting to help with the sales side. And then at what point did you guys start to play with ads? Was that before then, or does this come in a little bit later in the picture? Where did that start to come in?
About November. And when we started playing with ads, it was, wow, like our business skyrocketed like crazy, tons of lead generation. And we had quite a bit of lead generation before, 100% organically before like November 2021. Yeah. So like literally 6, 7, 8 months ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one-on-one, like me moving from that into this, was April of last year.
Okay.
March, April. Then from April till November, it was no ads at all. And it was, like enough, but not like anything nothing what it is now.
Yeah, it's crazy. So at that time, you guys were doing enough to like full time, you guys as a household run this just off of pure organic and one-on-one coaching, which is cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, so I remember when we talked as well, like a big thing for you was you started doing one-to-many sales. So you started doing an event-based model for selling, or like a challenge-based model for selling. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. Last July is when we changed models. So it's been about a year.
Yep.
Okay. And then, so you guys, is it challenges or events? Remind me.
It's like the live challenges in a Facebook group. So like a 5-day live challenge. And then we pitch our offer and people join us.
Yeah.
Cool. And then, so when you guys started doing the challenges, what did you find, like in terms of challenges, like challenges about challenges? What are the challenges for challenges? And what did you find as like potentially some of your guys' mental hangups that you were trying to work through in order to really get that to work for you?
Yeah, I would say one of the biggest challenges is like Nick and I were trying to do it on our own. Now we have like people messaging people. And so at first it was a little bit overwhelming. We had to like go live and we had to message all these people to try to overcome their objections and everything. And just, yeah, putting it all together and learning the whole process, I guess, was a learning curve because you got to be able to sell and pitch live. And it was just a whole new deal. But
like disorganization, I guess.
Yeah.
Like we have the, what is it? The whatever, we got the monster by the tail, but what do we do with it? You know, like, I mean, like there's so many moving parts. Like that was one of the biggest challenges, like organization in general. Like, wow, I feel like I was just going crazy trying to keep up with all the email, you know, because when you're starting out, you're wearing all the different hats, you know what I mean? You have to do everything.
And then I would also say, like, when you do a live launch like this, like you get like a lot of clients at once. So we would get like one of our first launches, we did like the course or whatever, but we got like 100 new clients. So I guess I should talk about the group coaching because that was more like where it was a little bit more of a challenge because we didn't have a lot of systems in place and everything. But like in our challenges, we do get like 80 new clients. So it's like we have to be ready to take on all those and all the people emailing you with tech issues or whatever it may be. Yeah.
And so they started getting leads. How long did it take for you to start to like see your ads get profitable for you?
Oh, pretty quickly because we were doing the webinar funnel as well.
Yeah, we had a couple different funnels going on. One of them was that live launch, and we also wanted to do the, add to a webinar, to a sales call, to a close. That's when I really took over. That one, there's a lot of ups and downs with that for sure. Because
how so? Why?
Well,
Yeah,
me alone
definitely.
trying, because that's the funnel that that part of the business is what I took over, but it was, gosh, that alone is a job in itself. Just like going from taking all the calls to the follow-ups to all these different things you're trying to do, plus the close rates up and down, like there's no consistency there. I mean, when you start, there's frustrations that can come with that. Like, am I doing this right? Am I getting coached right? I don't know. I'm taking my banking stuff and my medical sales stuff into this new world of brain rewiring. Like, what am I doing? So there's always that going on with that. But does that make sense? I mean, is that
do you think now looking back on it, I feel like you probably have a bit better handle. Do you think those ups and downs were caused by your own performance, or do you think it's caused by a little bit of traffic quality, or like a bit of both? What's your take?
I'd say kind of both for sure. Definitely both, but I would say like just in general, knowing.
I was gonna say the webinar funnel is like colder leads versus like our live challenge. That's been the biggest challenge is people coming off Facebook ads and then kind of like, what is this brain rewiring? Skepticism, can it really reverse my symptoms? That seems too good to be true. And so it's kind of like our process is a little bit hard to explain if you're not really sure what it is. And so that's been a huge challenge of that funnel. But when people go through like the live challenge and they see what it is and they get some quick wins, it is a little easier to sell. But
that's interesting because it's experiential selling instead of like almost like telling. They're experiencing it and they get that result in advance and they can say, hey, let's see what happens. That makes perfect sense.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then, so I know you guys, so you got your ads rolling in November, and then from there, what became the next bottleneck?
Sales.
I would say, the biggest bottleneck would be like, okay, Nick and I can no longer run this business by ourselves. We need salespeople. We need more messengers, more of a team for sure at that point.
So I know the answer to this, but for anyone watching this, had you tried to hire any salespeople on your own or do anything with that?
No, we did not. Just we have people in Messenger, but not sales reps like on the phone.
Okay, and so why not? Why did you not try that on your own?
I'm not I gotta go to the experts.
Yeah, I have a mindset where I want to get help with things. I don't want to do it by myself. Like I have an investor's mindset. And so I Googled like, how can I get some sales reps? And that's when I came across some people that could help us.
On the other end of this.
Yeah.
Coaching sales happen to come up.
And you guys are pretty much good to go. I guess what made you say like, okay, it feels right working with them? Like that I feel comfortable in this.
I'll jump in if you want to go, but go ahead. I have my own thing. Number one, just no joke, the comfort in like, okay, Mike and his team know what they're doing. Like I could just tell right off the bat, I'm like, okay, we found the experts. This is their zone of genius. This is what they do. And that's why we would have signed up on that Friday, the day we talked with you after getting in, like you just explaining things and like how that you just, here's what we do and here's what we can help you do. Does that sound pretty much how it went? And we're like, that's what we're looking for. We would have signed up then and there.
Yeah, I remember getting off the phone going, why didn't we sign up yet? Like, I'm excited now.
Yeah, no, we said we had to we had a busy weekend, I think, or something. And we're like, we're just gonna start up on Monday, whatever, fresh start. But either way, yeah, it was, anyways, going to you, yeah, it just made sense. That was my extra, my mind, at least. What do you want to share? Anything or?
Yeah, just like everything you explained, like we had no idea how to train a team, and you're like, we're going to help you with tracking. We're going to help you find the $1 million sales reps, people. And I'm like, I don't have a clue where to go. Like, what am I just supposed to go to Upwork and whoever sounds cool on the phone, I'm just supposed to hire? Like, I have no idea how to hire anybody. And just your whole offer of how you're going to help train them and all of that. It was just, it seemed like a really good offer for what we were getting. How are you going to give us several of them? I was like, this is just, I'm all about saving time. Yeah. And like I said, I have that investor's mindset and I don't like to do stuff on my own. So it was a no-brainer.
Yeah. And then, so you guys came in at an interesting time because you were able to come to one of the intensives prior to like actually getting your sales reps and getting rolling. I would be curious to hear about that, like, because on the intensives, we go deep into sales team building and all that. And what were some of the insights or the takeaways that you got while you were in the intensive that you felt like really equipped you for the rest of the time to just like hit the ground running?
Definitely just the vision, right? Putting things down on paper and being able to look at it from just not, here's what I think we want to do. No, it's organizing it like, here's the plan, here's the future. Let's look at 3 months, 6 months, a year out, right? Minimum, right? Organization, because I have all these things in my mind I want to do that I didn't know what I needed to do, So just that guidance, that's my initial thought there for sure, among many other things. But
you taught us a bunch of different things. Like one of the things that you taught us that like I think about almost every day is the different like personalities, the expressives, the analyticals, the drivers. And I can like see that in people now. And that was so powerful. Yeah. But there are so many things that you taught us that we're using now, but just
in general. Yeah. And then like tracking too, like you gave us help us tracking, like putting things down on paper. Like I said, not just because I'm like one who have all these thoughts in my mind, but I don't know what to do with them. So really the structure, maybe that's the best word to use, structure.
Yeah. And you helped us just kind of like look and see what it would be like to get to 7 or 8 figures. Like, hey, you're going to need this pod of different setters and managers, and just kind of seeing that out when you drew those diagrams. That was really cool. So I've never even thought of what it would take to get to where we want to be. Like he said, kind of that vision casting.
Yeah.
Cool. That's amazing. And it's interesting because, right, like I feel like sometimes that initial bit of success, like we almost trip our way into it. And then as we get there, then it's like all of a sudden, like, holy crap, like I gotta put this into where it's organized and it's now a machine, because like when we're doing it ourselves, we're so close to everything that you almost can intuitively know about everything that's going on for the most part. Like you really understand, all your clients by name, you know exactly how all your systems are working. You have a good feel for everything, especially you guys being a couple working together at home. You're talking about it back and forth. So your information sharing is really easy for you. And then now once you have to start to have people who are on your team, people can't follow chaos. It's really difficult for someone to follow chaos. And if the business is run on your intuition, like I don't know what your intuition's necessarily gonna do, right? But as soon as you start to have a plan and things are clear and there's numbers and there's tracking, then it's easier for team members to come on and be able to follow your lead. And it forces you to start to really like step up in the level of leadership to the point that now you're able to empower the team members to know what they need to do, to have that clarity, to have that autonomy to be able to do it, and then also give them the trust to say like, look, I know you can do this.
Yeah.
And then so when it came on, did you guys have like all the feels, like the nerves of like, oh my goodness, what's going on?
100%. Yeah, absolutely. I know for me, I'm like, I always say she's the wings, I'm the weight. I'm like, like, I'm always trying to pull back, and I was really pulling back. I don't know. Like, I'm nervous. I'm always nervous to do that. Cause then I'm like, what am I going to do? It's going to be managing. It's going to be,
I really had to talk him into even doing this. I'm like, we need salespeople at this point. It's going to take them a while to train. And he was just all not wanting to do it. But.
And I'm not like overprotective or I need, and this is my baby, but in a way I am, but I'm like, I can't do, you have to like get people to come in to be able to, like, I can't do everything. You know what I mean? Like that's one thing. And I don't know best always. Right. Like I'm always learning but yeah, it was,
but I was a little intimidated too, of course. Obviously, I've never managed a team, and I thought, these salespeople. I didn't know what to expect.
I was excited though. I'm not gonna lie. It was like exciting, nervous. Like kind of before you go out on the field, you're for a sports guy, that kind of thing.
I was mostly excited though, for sure.
Yeah, I'm always a little bit nervous whenever I'm with new reps. I don't know, like it's just I don't find it goes away. Like it's still there for me. I'm like always like. Let's see how it goes. And the numbers just start popping up and you're like, okay, I can settle in now. So with the whole process and then on getting a sales up and running, how many reps do you guys have actively selling right now?
2.
So you guys landed 2. That's awesome. And did you ramp 4 or did you ramp 3?
3. Well, we did 5 we started with 5 and 2 of them kind of fizzled off pretty quickly, and then 3 stuck for quite a while. And now we're
cool. And then now you're down to your 2, and they're good culture fits. You feel like, 100%. Oh, okay, that's awesome. And then what about like? So I think some of the common concerns that people have with sales reps too is like, well, what about my clients? Like, are they gonna treat my prospects right, or are my clients gonna feel good with this? Like, what's been your experience with that as well?
You mean like as far as like the sales reps talking to the clients, that kind of thing?
Yeah, like your nerves. Like, did you feel like, oh my goodness, are they going to represent us well? Or are they going to make our clients feel comfortable? Especially because your clients are in a position where like you work with a clientele that isn't an investor mindset a lot of the time, right? They're not like, oh yeah, this is just another coaching program, just send it, see what happens, right? Like it's not like us where it's like I've bought $3,000 coaching programs and just been happy to figure out that's not what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, well, I'm glad I went through that because now I know I don't want to do that. And like, they don't think that way. For them, it's like, this is a big deal. And so I guess like with that, I'm imagining you might've had some potential nerves of like, hey, are they going to be able to really connect with my people? Are they going to make them feel safe? Are they going to make them feel seen? Are they going to make them feel heard? All that.
Yeah, a little bit, because like a lot of our clients, they do have that anxiety, depression, and they want to be heard, and it takes a certain type of person to speak to these type of people. But then I wasn't really I wasn't too nervous. I was kind of like, it's just a sales call. But I mean, that's just me.
But at the same time, me being like being on the phone with all these people, I'm like, because it is our brand, it's Limbic System Rewire. It's the people like these people are the front lines representing us, like, so really thinking like there were those little butterflies here and there, those nerves that can come up, but at the same time, I'm like, you have to give them a chance and try. And the culture fit, like you said, like that was the utmost importance, more than anything, for us. And I think that's probably true for a lot of people.
And then
they were.
Yeah, not too far into it, we got a lot of good feedback, like so-and-so, he's so kind. And so it was really reassuring when we kept hearing some good feedback from who we chose. So
yeah. That's awesome. And then, so with that as well, like, I know obviously sales was your bottleneck. I would be curious to hear, like, what were you doing kind of in terms of like your normal amount of enrollments while you were on the phone? And then now how many enrollments are you able to do that you're off the phones? You have a couple reps and you guys have been able to remove that as your bottleneck.
Yeah, it's been great actually, because we never honestly, like, between these launches, between like, the ones we do every
live challenges,
I should say, there was this much, 0 closes between them, none.
And we launched like every 2 months. So we'd have 2 months where we have 80 clients, and then 2 months, or one time where we had 80 clients and within a week, and then 2 months of nothing.
Yeah. So I was always nervous, nerve wracking there. Like, wow, we need some consistency, because if I'm going to do anything, if I'm going to want to buy a house when the market goes down, whatever it is, right? Like if I'm going to do anything, the bank's going to want to, where's your consistency? And there was like spikes and ups and downs, and there was nothing where it was consistent, Right.
But then he got on the calls and he was able to take, I don't know, you took how many a week, like 20. And then we had 3 sales reps for a while. Now we have 2, but now we're able to take like 60 calls a week. So it's we're ramping up. I mean, we're talking to all kinds of people. We're warming up people, planting seeds for people to join the workshop if they don't close. And of course, we're closing a lot more people between those live challenges. So I think that answers your question as far as getting more people in the
and the breaks of just that, I guess, not reassurance, but like, okay, we're not just dependent upon this one time, right? This one 6 to 8 weeks, So
it gives you a little bit more predictability, a little bit more consistency, makes the business a little bit steadier. You'll still have the big pops that come through from the event sales, but it kind of just helps that. And exactly to your point, Brooklyn, like it's great when you do have the events, because if for whatever reason that person's not ready when they talk to the enrollment coach, they're able to plug into an event and they have more of an emotional connection to you as a company at that point. And they've heard the offer, they're interested, and it's just like, hey, let me get in an event, and it makes that much easier. Instead of them just disappearing into outer space because, who knows, they're not opening your emails or Facebook's not delivering the content to them, stuff like that. And then I know after you guys got the closers specifically, then you reached out and you also worked with us on the setter side of things too. So because obviously you guys have a ton of opportunity that had been untapped in the list, and it's just trying to figure out, like, how do we work this? How have things been over there with plugging in a set team, and what's been your general experience on that?
It's been awesome. They've been doing awesome. So we get like 100 to 200 people in our group every single day. We're growing big time. And so they're messaging like so many people every single day. And they've gotten us 10 to 15 calls a week, I want to say. And so they've been worth every penny, because they've just been engaging with so many people. We weren't engaging with like anybody. Like we didn't message people who joined the group at all. And so they're in the inboxes of a ton of people. They're sending people to our live challenges, plus getting calls on the phone for our salespeople. So it's been a really good experience.
And it's been pretty much plug and play, really. I mean, super, we don't have to do much.
Yeah, we barely had to do anything. That has been like the nicest thing ever, is we didn't have to teach anybody how to message them or give them a script or do anything. They had the scripts. They had everything A to Z of what to do. And easy peasy.
Just like it's been the combination of it too is like phenomenal, I think.
That's awesome. Now, so where's the bottleneck now? Because right after every problem we solve is another problem. So where's the bottleneck now, and what do you guys have your sights set on next?
Kind of just, I would say for me, us management organization type stuff for sure.
Yeah, I would say like we have like 8 contractors. So they're all coming to Nick in Brooklyn for every little tiny question, big question, whatever it is. And so we're answering team questions at all times. Eventually we need like a manager or someone to do what we can do. So we can take a week off and not have to like message our team all the time consistently.
Definitely just the next level that would come from having the setters, having the closers, now people to help us manage too, right? Properly, of course. So
Yep. So moving from that like one big team where you guys are the hub on all the spokes, to then the team of teams, and starting to have a middle level management team in there. So that makes perfect sense.
What we learned at that when we were with you in Lauderdale.
Exactly. Is that how it goes? Well, congrats, you guys. It's been awesome seeing your guys' trajectory, and I can't compliment you guys enough on just overall, like, you guys are so easy to work with. You guys just, like, if you're told something, you do it. You guys keep a super open mind, and like that goes a long way to why you guys are so successful. Because I know you guys just get in, and then Brooklyn's just the sponge, soaks up everything, and then you guys counterbalance each other really well too. Where Nick, you help keep things grounded, and then Brooklyn, you help keep pushing things forward, and you guys play that like really, really well. So you are definitely a power couple for sure. So it's gonna be cool to see what the next level of growth is for you. So I'm really excited for that, and thanks for jumping on with us.
I was just going to say too, thank you for everything you and your team has done for sure. I mean, we can't thank you enough because we would, with all the positions we have now and we're seeing this go, it would not have been done without you. So
yeah, we wouldn't be
100%.
where we are today without you guys. You
Your
guys
team is
and
awesome
your
too.
team has
Yeah.
been great. Your success coaches and everything helping us along the way.
Yeah.
So
If you have a question, you get an answer quickly. Guidance, like let's make some smart decisions, that kind of stuff. That goes a long way when you're navigating in these territories you've never been. So, and that's why we wanted to come to people who have done it. Like you said, 3,000 plus times or whatever, many times,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It means a lot. I super
Yeah.
appreciate that. Yeah. And obviously we do our best. Like we work hard at this. So it's always super meaningful to hear that. So I really appreciate you guys.
We appreciate you too.
And if anyone wants to find you, how can they connect with you? Maybe they want to find you on the internet with maybe your website, Facebook group, something. How can someone go about connecting with y'all?
yeah, I would say we have a website, limbicsystemrewire.com, as well as a Facebook group that's called Brain Rewiring for Health and Happiness.
Yep.
So those are the two places to go, and a YouTube channel, Limbic System Rewire as well.
Yep.
Awesome. Love it. Brooklyn, Nick, you guys are amazing. And I'm so happy to be a part of your guys' journey and your growth. So thanks for trusting us on this. And it's been really fun to watch what's happened over these past 3 months. I can't wait to see what happens over the next year. So
No kidding. Yeah, us too. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's it for this week's interview. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did enjoy this interview, we do one like it every single week inside of our free Facebook group called 7-Figure Agency Owners and High Ticket Coaches. So if you're an agency owner, coach, service provider, and you're really wanting to scale to 7 figures and beyond, join us inside the group. It's coachingsales.com/group. Again, coachingsales.com/group. See you on the inside.